Hello, friends. This is Professor MCal once again. Thank you for tuning into this video. This one is about ancient civilizations on Mars. Very interesting topic. It's really all theoretical. I'm going to try to present some facts here and draw conclusions based on those facts, like I usually do. I got a number of new subscribers lately: Peyton Loman, Saturn's Song, Pelican Force, Robert Johnson, and SX Prelude. I just want to thank you all for signing up. I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. I also have a Patreon now. It's under the same name, Saturnian Cult. There's a video up there about human trafficking that I was not able to put up on YouTube. I'm going to try to keep um, putting material on that site on the Patreon. There's a part one of the human trafficking video up now. Some of you have wanted to see that. Part two is going to be up soon. And I think I'm going to do some other ones in the near future on COVID, some on mass shootings, terrorism, etc. Things I can't put on YouTube. It's $10 a month. I'm going to try to upload twice a month and then maybe do a live Q&A or something like that if I can get enough people interested in something like that. So if you would like, visit me on Patreon. It's very cheap. And I'll continue to provide as much material as I can. So this one's about ancient civilization on Mars. Some of you might be familiar with this stuff. If not, I hope that this gets you going on the topic. What's possible? A lot of things are possible. Are we the first civilization on the planet? I doubt it. Personally, I think that there was another civilization, a global civilization here long before us. We're going to talk a little bit about the pyramids as well, and how it's possible that the pyramids are much older than maybe 3,000 years, 3,500 years, something like that. It's I think the pyramids are more like 30,000 years old. We're going to talk about that, the possibilities of that, and why that is seeming possible a little later in this presentation. Are we the first civilization in the solar system? Again, I don't think so. I think there was an ancient civilization on another planet, probably Mars, that predated us by a long shot. Civilizations could also have risen and fallen on this planet many times over before we were here. One of the things that we need to look at is what condition the solar system is in. So we have the asteroid belt that is between Mars and the Jovian planets, which are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. These are the gas giants, right? In between the gas giants, in between the rocky planets that are closer to the sun and the gas giants, there is an asteroid belt. It's a possibility that the asteroid belt was once actually another planet. That's possible. That was, blown up in a cataclysmic manner, either by a civilization that was on it or by something that was passing through the solar system. We just don't know, but it's possible that the asteroid belt was once another rocky planet. So that's one point to start with. Another point is Uranus, the planet Uranus, which is actually on its side. Uranus is a ringed planet as well. The Earth actually has rings as well. We just can't see them with the naked eye. They're very, very faint. Uranus has rings as well, and it's on its side. So it's a possibility that something passed through the solar system that was really violent and turned Uranus on its side at one point. It has an 84 Earth year in one solar orbit. So for Uranus to orbit the planet, it takes 84 of one of our years. So I suppose that if you lived on Uranus, you would age the same amount of time you age in one Earth year in 84 years. Very interesting stuff. Why Mars? This is an image of what Mars might have looked like 10 to 12,000 years ago. Mars is in the what we call the Goldilocks zone. It's just close enough and just far away enough to where liquid water can develop. And wherever there is liquid water, there's the high possibility of life. There are frozen water solar caps, or excuse me, polar caps on Mars, northern and southern. And it's a possibility that there was running water. As a matter of fact, it's looking like that there was water. While Mars was flush with water 10 to 12,000 years ago, maybe more. You can look a little bit more up on that information if you want. There is some prominent scientists and researchers that have said that this is more than likely. Um, Mars is our closest neighbor. It's quite a bit smaller than the Earth, but the possibility of life having been there is definitely on the table. Then you have something like Cydonia, which is really interesting. So, Cydonia is what the Cydonia is a theoretical city or complex of pyramids, a face, and living space on Mars. We're going to take a look at that. It's called Cydonia. I think it was in 1974. One of the Voyager probes, I believe, flew by Mars, and I could be wrong about the year and the name of the probe. I think that's accurate. If not, please let me know. Um, this probe passed by Mars, took photographs of it, sent photographs back, and as you can see pretty clearly, there's what seems to be a face here. Um, it's been said that it's a trick of light and shadow. I don't, see it to be that as such. Here's another close-up of Cydonia, a five-sided pyramid. The city up here on the left, the face, and Tholis down here to the right. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Somebody can enlighten me on that. That would be great. But this is a little bit of information about the city. This is an actual image from Mars. Of course, the lines that are on it are not, really there. But this is an actual image from Mars showing what looks to be a complex with a pyramid and a face and a city. I forget who came out and said it. I don't remember, but there was a prominent researcher, scientist that said that the probability of this actually existing in the formation that it exists is a huge number to one, and that it's just improbable that this is just an accident. I don't think it's an accident. I think that there was an ancient civilization on Mars that was highly advanced or spiritually advanced. Drew Valo Melchizedek postulated that there was actually a nuclear war, some form of ancient nuclear warfare on Mars that destroyed the planet, and that the people that lived there, or the beings that lived there, used synthetic Merkabas to travel to the Earth, and that they brought their knowledge with them. And these are actually the beings that built the pyramids on the planet, which makes more sense than ancient Egyptians building it with ropes and pulleys using primitive tools. Primitive tools combined with a highbrow, highly developed set of um, mathematical and scientific tools that you would need to build something like that. Here's the evolution of the face from 1976. All right, so it was first photographed in 76, I guess, all the way to 2002. And as we can see, it's been, what looks to me to have been doctored. Um, the last image the last two images from 2001 and 2002 seem to have been altered. Um, Even if it wasn't, this formation is extremely interesting and extremely significant. As you can see, the two in 1976 depict a face pretty well. The one in 1998, I don't know what's going on there. It doesn't even seem to be there at all. But this is a little bit of information on the evolution of the face. We have the Sphinx, of course, the Great Sphinx. Um, Very interesting. Nobody knows exactly how this was built or who built it. As you can see, the paws there are made out of innumerable bricks. How you would carve and create something like this all that time ago is just beyond me. And we're going to talk about a little bit about how there's substantial evidence of water erosion or water having formed the current body of the Sphinx. The pyramids themselves, there's a row of them. I think there's actually 200 pyramids all in all in Egypt. These are the three most prominent ones. Pyramid of Giza, the three pyramids at Giza, excuse me. The big one is the Pyramid of Khufu, I believe. We can see here, I'm circling this portion at the top. Um, the pyramids were once covered in a smooth siding of limestone on each side, and these pyramids, children used to be able to climb up them and slide down, as was recorded by Plato when he went to the pyramids. Uh, lime, the limestone was still on the pyramids at the time. It was chipped off to actually begin the building process of the modern city of Cairo. The modern city of Cairo was actually begun out of the limestone from the pyramid. So there was enough material there to build a city. The quarry that the stones came from is 20 miles away. Um, Nobody knows how they got there. There's a theory that the Nile River actually was once much more full and there was water that went right up to where the pyramids are now. Personally, I think that the pyramids were built using sound. I think the ancient priests knew how to levitate stones using sound and put them into place. According to the historian Herodotus, lived around 500 BC, I believe. It's a Greek historian. He wrote that when he traveled to Egypt, he talked to ancient or sages that had ancient knowledge when he went there, and that they told him that the ancient builders would slide a piece of parchment with certain markings on it underneath the stones, and then they would strike the stones with a copper rod, and the stones would rise up off the ground. And then if you hit the stones again with the rod, it would go about the length of a bow shot. That's what Herodotus writes. He also wrote that there were significant cities underneath the pyramids that led through a tunnelway or a passageway to the Sphinx itself, and that the cities were hard. It was hard to believe that the cities were the work of man. Here's an image of Thoth, the god of writing and wisdom. It's where we get the word thought from. I believe that Thoth could be a depiction of a much more ancient race. I think that this might be a depiction of an ancient being that was part of an ancient Martian race. I don't know. I'm not sure. Here's another interesting aspect. Here we have the owl, which looks very familiar to, if you know anything about the Bohemian Club and their imagery that they use and the symbols that they use. This is the owl of the Bohemian Club here on the left that I'm circling. I think that Thoth is a depiction of an ancient people rather than an ancient deity itself. I think that's a possibility. I don't really know. You guys can let me know what you think about that in the comments. I'd love to talk more about it. That would be terrific. I'm going to go forward and see what I got here. All right, that's the last slide. So I'm going to back up just for a minute to the Sphinx. I should have probably included a slide about this, but on the side of the Sphinx, there is what looks like water damage that was confirmed by a geologist. There was an Egyptologist. Again, the name escapes me on this Egyptologist, but it would be pretty easy to find on Google or on YouTube, who took a picture of the Sphinx and covered the top and the bottom with masking tape and brought this picture to a prominent geologist and asked him if he thought that the formations of rock that he was looking at were formed by water. And he said, without a doubt, 100% I'm sure of this. And he removed the tape, and the geologist was, wowed by the fact that this was actually the Sphinx. I think that it's highly likely that the Sphinx was actually submerged underwater 12,000 years ago during the deluge or the great flood that's recorded in the Bible as the Noah's flood, Noah and the ark. It's also recorded in the Quran and many other ancient texts throughout the world. This was the end of the last ice age, and this flood did happen. This is a fact. This flood did happen. I believe that the Sphinx and the pyramids were already built during this time, and that they were submerged underwater before Cairo became not Cairo, but before Egypt became the desert that it is now. I could do a presentation just on the Sphinx itself and take a look into the images of the stones on the side and the water damage on the sides of the Sphinx. If you guys want to see that, I can do something like that. So please let me know. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead again now to the last slide. If you have any ideas, questions, or comments, I'm, very much want to hear them. Let's have a positive dialogue. I will remain respectful to any person that wants to comment, leave questions, wants to have a talk. I only ask that you are respectful to one another as well. Please request presentations. If you have an idea, please let me know and comment on how you think I'm doing. I would appreciate some feedback very much. Again, I have a Patreon. Please check that out. It's under the same name, Saturnian Call. It's only $10 a month. And I just want to thank all my new subscribers. I want to thank all the subscribers to this channel. I think there's about 258 or 260 now, something like that. That's really great. I appreciate that so much. And I hope to hear from you guys. And I hope that you're all very well. God bless. And I hope you enjoyed this.